Hello friends, welcome back to Technique, and today we're going to do a detailed camera review of the latest mid-range device from OnePlus in India and also globally, the OnePlus Nord 3. Now OnePlus Nord 3 is the successor of last year's OnePlus Nord 2T. Now the Nord series was launched in 2020 and then in 2021 came the OnePlus Nord 2. 2022 came the Nord 2T, and finally we have the Nord third version, that's the Nord 3, and this also comes with a pretty good camera setup. You also get a triple camera setup here. So in this video we'll be talking about how good the camera experience is for this price segment. This should be ideally priced around the 30 to 40,000 price segment, and for that pricing how good the camera experience is. That's what we're going to talk about in this detailed video. So before getting into the video, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So let's first talk about the camera hardware offered on the OnePlus Nord 3. Now in terms of camera hardware, the primary camera is a Sony IMX890 sensor. Now this is a 50 megapixel sensor with optical image stabilization included and f1.8 aperture. Now the secondary camera is an ultrawide, that's an 8 megapixel ultrawide. It's again a Sony IMX355 sensor. Then on the third camera you get a 2 megapixel macro sensor, which is more or less similar to other offerings, other brand offerings. The 2 megapixel camera is kind of standard across most of the devices. So here also you get a 2 megapixel camera. Now on the front panel you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera with f2.4 aperture. So that's the camera hardware. Now this camera is capable of optical image stabilization, and you also get up to 4K 60 fps video because this is powered by the Dimensity 9000 chip. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see how good the experience is. So first let's have a look at the daylight captures. So you can see that the daylight captures looks pretty good. There is good amount of details. The colors are also balanced. There is no saturation issues. The detailing is good, and also the dynamic range also feels quite good. We shot most of these images with the cloudy weather, so we couldn't test out the camera in under extreme sunlight, but overall we feel the dynamic range, the sharpness levels and the detailing also looks great. Now overall, even if you zoom into the picture, the detailing looks good. So in terms of daylight condition, the primary 50 megapixel camera is able to produce good images which won't disappoint users. So overall OnePlus had done a quite good job with the colors and the details offered. Let's move on to the ultra wide angle camera. Here you can see that while the details are quite okay, there is a bit of softness towards the edges and colors are not as good as the primary camera. Here you can see slightly more saturated colors, but overall for an 8 megapixel shooter it does a decent job altogether. Now moving on to the close-up images, here again you can see that there is good amount of details on offer. The colors are more or less natural looking. There isn't any sort of saturation issues. The sharpness levels are also quite okay in most part. Once again OnePlus Nord 3 does a pretty good job with the details on offer in the close-up images. Now there is also 2 megapixel macro. This is kind of very average. The 2 megapixel sensor doesn't get that much of details, and you can see that noise is there and the colors are kind of washed out and doesn't give a great feeling altogether. So the macro captures are kind of average at its best. Now let's move on to the portraits. Now the OnePlus Nord 3 does quite a good job with portraits. You can see that the background blur effect looks pretty pleasing. The edge detection is spot on. There is no issues in that, and overall color quality and sharpness levels are also quite good. But the skin tones could have been a tad better. Not bad by any means, but still there is slight improvement needed in terms of skin tones. Now next let's move on to the low light experience. So under artificial light or indoor lighting, it does a quite good job. There is good amount of details. Even outdoor low light captures under artificial lights looks good. There is less amount of noise included. The colors are also pretty good. But one thing what we notice that the images are not as sharp as the daylight capture. There is a bit of softening effect in the low light images, but noise levels are kept to minimum. That's one good thing OnePlus has done in the low light capture. So overall we would say low light images does work really well, and there is good colors and good details on offer. Next, let's move on to the selfie camera. The 16 megapixel shooter does a quite good job here. The skin tones are again good. Again, selfies are more of a personal choice. Personally, I like the selfie camera on the OnePlus Nord 3. It does a quite good job with skin tones more or less accurate. The dynamic range is good. Even the edge detection in the portrait selfies also looks great. They are more pleasing and the background blur also looks great. So overall selfie quality on the OnePlus Nord 3 does pretty well. Let's move on to the video recording. The Nord 3 can do 4K 60 FPS, and this sample you can see that the video quality looks saturated, the colors are vivid, while the detailing and the overall sharpness levels are good. The colors are not so great, and the stabilization is also only optically made stabilization is what we feel. Now the 4K at 30 FPS also looks quite good, but here the colors are more or less natural, does a pretty good job. Once again, the stabilization is acceptable, although we feel EIS could be done a bit more better. Now the 1080p at 60 FPS supports ultra steady mode. Here you can see that the stabilization is quite okay, although the panning of the video isn't that smooth, but overall the quality of the video definitely looks good in terms of sharpness levels and colors. The phone also supports 1080p at 30 FPS. Once again, we feel the stabilization is needs a bit more fine tuning, but otherwise colors and details are quite okay in the video. Now the phone also supports ultra wide angle camera. Here you get only 1080p at 30 fps. Once again, the colors are quite good. The sharpness levels and details are okay for the 8 megapixel shooter. So this is the portrait video taken using the rear camera, and you can actually see that the background blur is enabled, and you can check out the quality of the video and also how good the depth of field and also the edge detection is on this video. So this is the front facing camera recording taken in 1080p resolution. Using the front camera, it can record videos only in 1080p resolution, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the stabilization turned on. Again a 1080p resolution video at 30 fps. So once again you can see the quality and also the stabilization of the video. So that was the camera review of the OnePlus Nord 3. So overall as a camera, the OnePlus Nord 3 does quite a good job here. The daylight shots are quite good. There is good dynamic range on offer. The sharpness levels are also acceptable. The details and the colors are also good. The ultra wide angle camera is kind of average, I would say. The colors are not as good as the primary camera, but still acceptable. The macro is strictly average. The low light photography is definitely good. A bit more fine tuning in terms of sharpness levels could make it even better. The portraits are also good, but again skin tones needs a bit more fine tuning. The selfies are really good actually. We like the selfie quality, but again it's more of a personal choice whether you like the selfies or not. Then video recording also needs a bit more fine tuning. Overall as a camera, the OnePlus Nord 3 does not disappoint for casual shooters. This will definitely be a good camera, but a bit more fine tuning could make this camera even better. That's what we feel about the OnePlus Nord 3. So that was our camera experience with the OnePlus Nord 3. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.